we look ahead, let's look back and study the film. With more, here's Stacey Dales.
With the Bears coming off of a 20-point loss to the Rams on Sunday, there is a world of improvement ahead. Offensively, quarterback Andy Dalton talked on Wednesday about how clearly limited the team was in terms of vertical shots downfield. Case in point, 0 10-plus air yard passes for the Bears, in large part because of what the Rams did defensively, keeping them in front. So while that's a big area of focus, Dalton said the team overall happy with the way they moved the ball. Running back David Montgomery, big part of that, over 100 yards on the ground. And as for the rookie Justin Fields, in the 5 plays we saw on Sunday, I asked Dalton how it affected, or if it does affect, his rhythm when the quarterback came in the game. He said, "I don't think it affected my rhythm at all." Noting at the end of the day, the objective is to score touchdowns. Justin Fields, of course, had one of the Bears' 2 touchdowns in the red zone on Sunday. It's Dalton against his former team, the Bengals, in Week 2 in Chicago.
Dalton against his former squad that he took to the playoffs 4 times. I'm here for this game, very excited about it, and I love that it's in Chicago. Thanks so much, Stacey. Chris, I know everybody at this table's take on Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Matt Nagy, Brian Pace, and the like. What are your thoughts on how they handled Week 1 and how they should proceed in Chicago?
Well, I think you're going to like it. And first of all, most football fans don't want to be in the position that Chicago's in, because this offseason they made a promise to a player. And that's when Andy Dalton, when he was looking at teams to go to, he sat down with the general manager and the coach and was like, "Do I have a chance to be your starter?" And if the people told him no, he went on to look elsewhere. Chicago told him yes. Now on draft day, things change. Things happen. So they end up getting Justin Fields. But let's not forget, this is still a human business. And when you tell someone something, it means something because it means something to the locker room. So they committed to Andy Dalton, and I believe it's the right thing to do now. Andy Dalton, now me and him have a little history together, because we were playing the Pro Bowl. I was the captain of the Pro Bowl a few years ago. Okay. Thanks to Tracy Perlman, NFL operations. They got me over there.
So
it's 3rd down and 7. At the end of the game, we're about the 30-yard line. We make a completion. We kick the field goal. We're going to win the game.
Oh, we got it.
Now, you know they're playing off coverage because it's the Pro Bowl. I said, "Andy, the corner is going to be snug. He's not going to backpedal." Andy throws an incompletion. That incompletion cost me $25,000. So immediately, when we punted, they went down and scored to beat us. I go down and tell them, "Hey, bro, I'm on a coach's salary now. It just cost me 25 stacks. All I need is a little completion to the outside, and we got this money." My man Michael Irvin, his team wins.
Of course.
Since then, Tracy's not going to make me captain anymore because I'm a loser. But the dude owes me. So Chicago fans, I can understand if you get a little frustrated with Andy, but this is the plan for certain teams.
Do we see Justin Fields this year? When do we see him?
No, you're definitely going to see him.
Okay,
We know when you draft him in the 1st round, you're going to see him.
When?
But you might like this. The brownies aren't done yet.
I love you, Chris.
See, a lot of people get confused. They think, "Oh, I can just read the box and everything." We got convection bake. We got bacon. We got, did you bake it in glass? Did you bake it in non-stick?
Elevation.
Because all those things. And if you happen to be at altitude, you got to, when you put
This man does his research.
When you put the tip in there, right now it's still a little gooey. Now, they can be eaten. If you eat too many of them, it'll hurt your stomach. So I wish he would have stayed in college.
Really?
Yes.
Because he had a lot of experience.
Guys are in such a rush to get to the big show.
Stop it, Mike.
But if the NFL average player is playing 3.4 years, that's been the average for 30 years. So would you rather come into the league when you're 20, 21, or would you rather come in when you're a little grown, 23, 24, if that window's going to be the same? And I try to encourage guys, man, stay in college, stay on scholarship, and that's what I believe with Justin Fields. He will be the starter probably after Halloween.
Was that Frank Gore on the sideline with you at the Pro Bowl? I think he looked mad, too. I don't know what he lost, but...
I had him and Trent Williams. They getting ready to beat Andy up.
Here's the thing. We love the brownie analogy, to leave it in too long and everything. Would you rather have the brownies that maybe are a little soft and there's a little on the toothpick, or you got this plate over here of stale, I guess they'd be ginger snaps? Like, that's the Andy Dalton cookie, right? What do you mean?
No, Andy Dalton can lead a team to... Randy Dalton is like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's not get confused. He has led his team to a playoff. He can throw for 4,000 yards on a regular basis.
And he was good on Sunday.
And fine.
He was good.
Hey, Kyle,
he wasn't good.
We can't have 32 Aaron Rodgers. We got tiers to this quarterback stuff. We got the elite, we got the middle, and then we got guys who can be starters, but will play a long time as a starter backup.
There's not 32 of them. There's not. And so when you start talking about the Taylor Heineke's of the world, you expect them to come in and play as starters. The guy maybe that they were replacing wasn't a starter in the first place. And Andy Dalton is right now, I mean, listen, I go back. I remember him with the Bengals, and I remember the way they pushed the ball down the field. But it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy right now that he's in the game with this Bears team that's not pushing the ball down the field. I guarantee you Fields goes in there, he's going to. But he's going to make mistakes as well. Are you willing to live with the mistakes? We know what it is. We know it's this coaching staff and it's this general manager right now who know they have to win this year. And they think Andy Dalton gives them the best chance to win. But at some point, if you want to make a statement for your future as a head coach and a GM, look what we drafted, look what we can do with them, give us a chance to surround them and work with them.
But I like that Nagy's doing what's best for the young quarterback. He is. He's saying, I'm not going to take you out of the oven because I can't put you back in and fully bake you. Like, let's get it ready. Is he leading this team to a Super Bowl this year? I happen to think no. So why put him out there with that defense that looked so bad? They're just flat, terrible in week 1. Why put him out there?
This is
right
what
now?
we don't.
But why
have.
is this what's best for Fields? Why? Because
I think if he was developed and ready to go, Nagy will put him in. Maybe that is after Halloween.
But that's not what Chris is saying. Chris, you're saying, because everyone's wondering, why is he playing Dalton? And you're saying you think that there was a promise made that you're our guy?
Well, I know there was a promise. That's what Andy, when he was in free agency, he was looking for a place to start. And it's still a human business.
Yeah, but that's all BS. We got to win games. Like, at some point, like, I know we shook hands back in April, but, like, we got to win games.
Well, I hate to correct you, but when you're dealing with 53 grown men, what your word is, and that's the bond between how we going to do this work.
Respect. But what about the 53 grown men when you're losing
Now,
games
we
and
can't
they know
alter
the young
along
kid
the
is
way.
better?
As Dennis Green would say, this is my car. He said, the team is a sports car, and it's my car. I let the quarterback drive, but I will kick you out. That's Dennis Green's theory. It's my car. It's not your car. And I will let you drive. But for young quarterbacks, I have seen so many careers altered. And this is because we don't have a test for this.
Right.
And at the combine, if we could sit all these quarterbacks up and we could have somebody punch them in the face and find out, okay, what's the response? Because most of our quarterbacks, we love them, but they ain't about that life. And if we put him in there, and as he holds on to that ball, and he had no chance of playing week number 1 against Aaron Donald, and why would you put him out there? Because dual threat quarterbacks, they hold the ball longer. They can't anticipate. They squeeze it. They want you to be open. And that's where Justin, they squeeze it, which that pressure starts to get to him, and then they start playing out of character. He's in the right situation. Nagy knows what he's doing. All right, just give him some time to percolate, Bears fans. Just give him time.
If there is this hypothetical deal, it can't be like Andy coming in and saying, I better start the half of the season. Like, that can't be it. So the job, he will get kicked out of the car. That's what I'm saying. But if Justin Fields was that much better than Andy Dalton, they'd kick Andy Dalton out of the car. He had a really bad play. He had a really bad interception last week. He wasn't a terrible quarterback. He was okay. I'm just saying, to my point about Andy Dalton versus Justin Fields and what's going on with Nagy. Nagy's going to put Justin Fields in when he's ready. I trust that he knows where he is in his developmental process better than anybody else.
Okay, one thing that we all have in common as players, one day it's going to be a guy show up next to you, bigger, stronger, and faster than you. That's what happened when they drafted Randy Moss. It happens to every player in the league. Brett Favre, what they do? They draft Aaron Rodgers. One day, a guy's going to show up on your job, bigger, stronger, and faster than you. And the thing that we all have in common, it's time for us to get our stuff, and it's time to go. That's the consistency about the NFL.
So Andy will understand that. If his play is really bad, he keeps losing games.
Especially if they're honest with him. If he doesn't get the job done, he knows where he's going to be, and that's going to be holding the clipboard.
He can hold it as long as he can. Andy Dalton can hold the job as long as he can. That wasn't good enough. And I don't think it's going to be, it's got to be consistently good, and I don't think it's going to be consistently good. And then you're going to see Justin Fields as a starter. Was it by Halloween? Is that the benchmark now? By Halloween? I think by Halloween you'll see it.
I wanted Labor Day.
GMFB, yes you did. These quarterbacks are going to